Hi, good evening. Tonight we will be reading from John chapter 6, verses 1 through 15, the Gospel of John. Jesus feeds 5,000 people. After this, Jesus crossed over to the far side of the Sea of Galilee, also known as the Sea of Tiberias. A huge crowd kept following him wherever he went, because they saw his miraculous signs as he healed the sick. Then Jesus climbed a hill and sat down with his disciples around him. It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover celebration. Jesus soon saw a huge crowd of people coming to look for him. Turning to Philip, he asked, "Where can we buy bread to feed all these people?" He was testing Philip, for he already knew what he was going to do. Philip replied, "Even if we worked for months, we wouldn't have enough money to feed them." Then Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. "There's a young boy here with 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what good is that with this huge crowd?" "Tell everyone to sit down," Jesus said. So they all sat down on the grassy slopes. The men alone numbered around 5,000. Then Jesus took the loaves and gave thanks to God and distributed them to the people. Afterward, he did the same thing with the fish. They all ate as much as they wanted. Afterward, after everyone was full, Jesus told his disciples, "Now gather the leftovers so that nothing is wasted." So they picked up the pieces and filled the 12 baskets with scraps left by the people who had eaten from the 5 barley loaves. When the people saw him do this miraculous sign, they exclaimed, "Surely he is a prophet, the one we've been expecting." When Jesus saw that they were ready to force him to be their king, he slipped away into the hills by himself. Don't kid yourself. Jesus knew where the bread could be bought. That question to Philip was a test. Then we see our teacher give instructions for everyone to sit and be prepared for a meal. Not just any meal. For this meal was a meal they would never, ever forget. The greatest miracle recorded in the Gospels. There are a few lessons that we can learn from Jesus here. 1. Jesus wanted to teach Philip and us that our financial resources are not the most important ones. You see, this limits God and what God does in us by assuming what is and is not possible. You and I have both faced some very impossible situations and tasks. And we both have watched Jesus do the impossible. What Jesus has done for us once, he will do again and again and again for those who trust him, for those who believe. He will always do it again. Let me ask you this question. Is there some impossible task? Is there something that you believe God wants you to do? God can do the miraculous. Your part is to trust him to do so and to do just that, the miraculous. One more point to make. The disciples surely had more to give than that little boy. But this little one gave what he had, and God fed over 5,000 people. Think about that. The disciples, I'm sure, had more resources than that little boy. Yet they weren't even willing to offer what little they had, but that boy did. God can do the miraculous. Will we trust him to do just that? Jesus' name. Thank you for listening. God bless you.